Last night was particularly horrible because, oops, sorry. Um, Stuart's response was quite different to Abby's. I'm not sure if it's just like a typical gender response difference, but Stuart's response when he saw the news was very much, I want to kill these people are evil, I want to join the army, I want to shoot their face off. That was his response. Um, Abby's response, she didn't really say much at the time when we were watching the news. It was last night at bedtime. She came in and I went to say goodnight and give her a kiss and a cuddle. And when she cuddled me, she held on really tight. And I said to her, "What's wrong with you?" And she burst into tears. And she said she was scared. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been in a position or even contemplated having to ever be in a position where my children would be scared to go to bed at night because they were scared that there was going to be bombs going off. I remember when I was younger, I used to be fascinated with World War Two, and I used to sit and imagine what it would be like to hear the air raid sirens go off and to hear bombs and aeroplanes and all these things. And I used to think, oh, thank God that we don't live in those times, and the world is different now, and you don't need to worry about these things. And it dawned on me last night that my kids do worry about these things. To them, it's the world that they live in. They are going to bed scared that kids are being targeted. And the news today was that there was threats against the schools, that the terrorist supporters were saying that they wanted to behead our children. I find it very difficult to put into words what that feels like as a mum. It makes me not want to send my children to school. This weekend I was going to take them to the beach near where we are. It's about an hour and a half away on a bus. And I was going to take them to the beach because the weather report said it was going to be an absolutely beautiful weekend. It was going to be really, really warm, really sunny. I don't want to take them to the beach because it would be so easy for beaches and seasides to be targeted. Now, I'm not one for scaremongering, and I would ordinarily be one of the people that would say, screw the terrorists, I'm going to go where I like and nothing's going to scare me because I'm not going to let them win. I'm just going to do what I do. I won't let it affect my life. If you don't know already, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, of United Kingdom, last night, Tuesday the 23rd of May 2017, put the terror threat level of the United Kingdom from the second highest level of severe to the highest level of critical. And what that means is they have information or intelligence that suggests that another terror attack is imminent. Imminent means they're about to be carried out. Now that could just be that they've came across files on the computer that has planned it. It could just be plans they've came across. Or it could be that there's intelligence to suggest that there are bombs already planted somewhere that are waiting to be detonated, and they could be trying to locate them right now. It could be any one of those things. And you presume it'll be the big cities like London and Birmingham. I live very near Glasgow City in Scotland. It's a very large city. It's got major railway transport, so Glasgow Central Station, Queen Street Station. You can get access to any major big city in the United Kingdom pretty much from Central Station. We've also got Glasgow Airport, we've also got Edinburgh, which is the capital of Scotland, and that's like universities and things like that. So a lot of people would say, you know, Scotland may not be necessarily, you know, in their sights for a terror attack. A lot of people seem to presume it's London because obviously that's where the government is and that's where the Queen is. And today there was arrests made. Somebody was arrested near Buckingham Palace with a knife, and the reports just now is that they've cancelled any public engagements and events and tourist shows around Westminster and around Buckingham Palace, and they said that that's not necessarily because of a threat to those places. What it is that they want to free up the police presence to allow the police to go somewhere else. Now, I don't know if you can hear this. You might not be able to hear it, but since yesterday I have at least twice an hour heard police sirens going past. The word is that they're basically doing riot training. Like all police stations pretty much are being told, you know, drop everything else, concentrate on what you're going to do in the event of a terror attack. As I said, it's unlikely that Scotland is necessarily going to be a target. It probably is more likely to be England, but then you wouldn't have assumed that an Ariana Grande concert would be a target either. But that's what these people want to do. They want to cause the maximum effects of destruction and, you know, terror, horror, you know, the name clues in the name, terrorists. They want to create panic. They created a nail bomb out of ball bearings and nuts and screws. Purely the reason bombs like that are built is to cause mass destruction. So it's not just a case of killing people and death. It's also let's maim them, let's blind them, let's, you know, have loss of limbs and organ damage. That's the reports today, that the victims that are in hospital are suffering from organ damage and loss of limbs, and they're having to undergo surgery and all these things. I just don't get it. I don't understand where any terrorist or any person, I don't understand how it comes into somebody's heads that you will be justified or rewarded if you kill children. You don't expect that your child is going to go to a pop concert and be blown up. My daughter is 11 years old. My son is 13 years old. These are the age ranges of some of the victims. I can't allow myself to think, what would I do if that was my kid? Because it's unimaginable. It's unimaginable the level of pain that would be there if something like that happened to one of my children. I don't want to let the terrorists win. I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to have my life disrupted because of this. But if I'm being true to myself, it's already disrupted purely because of the anxiety and fear. The sadness. I personally didn't know anybody that was personally at the Ariana Grande concert. But to know that there was parents standing there waiting to pick up their children and their children didn't come out that building. To know that there was parents ringing round taxi firms and hotels and hospitals and police stations to find their children. And some of them didn't and will not get the answer that they want. It absolutely destroys my soul that this is the world that we live in. And it's easy enough to share quotes, and it's easy enough to say, you know, find the good in the world, be positive, love everybody, be kind. And of course, that's all great and wonderful. I don't know how the feeling of love can overcome an act of terror. Love needs to not just be an emotion or a thought or a Facebook status. Love needs to be an action as well. Because if love isn't going to win this one with actions, they're going to win. The terrorists will win. I don't think there's going to be a position anytime soon where somebody's going to wake up and decide, oh, do you know what, this is a bad idea actually. Do you know what, we'll just quit blowing people up. They can't do that, and they won't do that. And for every ISIS member or terrorist that is killed or blow themselves up, there's another 50 people waiting to take that place. And if you're brainwashed into these kind of ways and thinking from the age of 5, and you know your parents are taking pictures of you holding a fucking, sorry I'm going to swear, I actually don't care. If you're a child holding a machine gun and you're told that that's all fine and wonderful, and you're being showed movies of people being stabbed and beheaded and stuff, that's the way they think. They think that's normal. And the funny thing is now you've got British people who are probably nice, genuine people saying close the borders, don't let immigrants in, don't let these people into our streets, we are British, keep them out. It's a bit extreme. Because these people don't care about us, and these people will find any way at all to get their message across with destruction and terror and pain and killings and all that. They're going to keep doing what they're doing no matter what we do. And I don't see it getting any better. In fact, I don't see it getting any better until somebody presses that button. And by pressing that button, I mean the big button that's going to set off the nuclear war, World War III, Doomsday, whatever you want to call it. I don't see it getting any better. And I know I sound depressing as hell right now. I don't want to feel this way. I don't like feeling this way. I want to be positive and I want to say it's okay, and I'll keep telling my children it's okay and we'll be alright, and we will be, I'm sure we will be. I'm sure East Kilbride isn't anywhere in their thoughts. But it doesn't change the fact that somebody somewhere, there's going to be more victims of terror attacks. Next week, next month, whatever. There is going to be more and more people waking up and their loved ones are not going to be there due to the act of an extremist terrorist. And it literally could be anybody. I don't understand it. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't understand in what planet and what country and what city and what town is it allowed or accepted or encouraged to kill children. Child isn't the one picking up weapons. A child isn't the one that's making the country's decisions. A child isn't the one that discusses money or imports or exports or security levels. It was a bunch of kids playing and singing and dancing, waving bunny ears and pink balloons. The only comfort I can get from it is that they died after having probably the best night ever. So to end this, because I could talk about the subject all day, but my heart is broken. I'm at a loss. I'm doing this because I want to help myself express it, because the anxiety levels have been through the roof to the point that I can't fathom and I can't put into words. I don't know how to feel. So this is why I'm doing this vlog, to hopefully try and make sense of it myself, but it's senseless. So to end this, I want to say thank you if you listened to my opinions and my views. I don't really know how much of it was clear, but thank you anyway. It is just my thoughts. You don't have to agree or disagree. I'm not expecting a public debate or opinion. Feel free to comment below if you agree or disagree. Keep it clean. I've got my kids on this channel. They do watch it, and I'm sure other children do too. So yeah, that's what I think about that. But last of all, I just want to say my heart and my prayers and my love, all of my love, goes to the victims and their families, anybody that was affected in Manchester 2 nights ago. I pray for them, and I pray for everybody in Great Britain right now who is upset or hurt or scared. And I pray for humans. I pray for all of us. Love you all so much. Please stay safe and take care, and I'll see you all next time.